Our first meeting prevented a crime. He saw me standing in front of the open gate of the vault. I had an armful of files. My hips were thrust forward. One wee foot in ballet slippers was rubbing the instep of the other. My skirt was knee-length and plaid, and my blouse was white and roomy. And I was thinking, if I move fast, I could grab the files on that stuff they use to euthanize psychotics and be down the stairwell in 10 seconds. I was a typist at a pharmaceutical company in Philadelphia. The vault was where the bodies were buried, and there was no one in sight, except Stephen, who walked up and asked my name.
"Tiffany," he said, "that means a divine revelation from theophany."
"It means a lampshade," I said. "It's a way to get around the problem of putting your light under a bushel. The light and the bushel are one." He didn't back away. It was one of those moments where you think, we will definitely fuck. It might take a while, though, because Stephen looked as respectable as I did. He was interviewing for a position in R&D in Berne. He pretended I was going to be this really difficult and challenging conquest. He wooed me with everything I ever mentioned favorably. Little Debbie marshmallow pies, nasturtiums, the sweet wine so dear to the palate of our shared idol Richard Nixon, a joke. Albenberg, a joke he didn't get. He had no intention of going to Berne alone. My parents were unanimous. "He's a keeper," they said. They just about kicked me into bed with him. So the first time we had sex was on their pull-out sofa. He was beautiful. It was hypnotic. I was sold. He warned me that his parents were arty. His father sat me down on the dock behind their house and advised me to enter into a suicide pact effective on Stephen's 50th birthday. I said, if I make it that long, which was the right answer. His mother didn't make it home that weekend. We were married in Orphan's Court. From the vault to the altar took 3 weeks. We didn't talk much about what we were doing. We had a deal. I hadn't wanted to be pregnant. It was just one of those things that happen when newlyweds get drunk. It seemed like something I'd get used to. Losing the baby was more dire than I had dreamed possible. Cause and effect had no relation at all. The effect was way over my head, and beside it and beyond it. It was a bodily distress. I had no way of putting it into words. So I didn't. Stephen would sit there on the edge of the bed, looking at me, holding my hand, then lie down and tuck himself in. I didn't feel gloomy. I didn't even feel sorry for myself. I didn't tell myself what had happened. If I tell myself stories, I get very sentimental very fast. So I didn't. I moved around slowly, looking at things before I touched them to make sure there was nothing frightening about them. I had no thoughts to speak of. I wanted to be addressed in hushed tones of pity, even by myself. I wanted to hear my own whispers in the next room, and know that I was thinking of me. We didn't have friends yet in Berne, really, but his colleague Omar came to look at the Wallcreeper. Omar was in animal health, so he knew something about birds. Also, he was in pharmaceuticals, so he knew how to keep a secret. He told Stephen the bird would never fly again, and that stealing it out of the wild was not of the brainiest. The next day, I got up and went into the kitchen. The Wallcreeper flew across the room, banged into the window, and lay still. Then, as before, it sat up and said, "Twee!" It leapt onto its feet like a little karate black belt recovering from a fall. It flicked its wings and tongued a flaxseed on the floor. "I'm worried about it," I said to Stephen on the phone. "It can't get any traction on the wall. It needs a pegboard. Then we could feed it. We could, put bugs in the holes in the pegboard. I don't like that you're feeding it bacon or whatever this is on the bulletin board. What is this? It's going to pull out the push pins and get hurt. We have to give it bugs to prepare it for release into the wild."
"If it gets out, we'll never see it again."